So welcome again to All Things Gumball, where we talk about how to build a vending business. And today I want to talk about how to find locations. So, assuming you've already gone to Craigslist and you've found your machines you like, you've bought them, you've brought them home, you've cleaned them up, you've polished them, you've made them look as new as you possibly can. They're sitting in your garage waiting to be delivered. They're waiting for you to find locations for these. You have your candy. You've bought your candy at Sam's Club or Costco or Walmart, and you're ready to go. And now the only hurdle that is in your way is finding locations. And I'll admit, when I first started, finding locations was something I dreaded. In fact, I'll tell you, I had a little gumball machine in my apartment for a year. It sat in my apartment for a year, and I'd see it every morning and I'd see it every night when I'd get home. And that little bugger was my employee, and it was lazy, and it wouldn't do its job. And its job was to make me some money. But I had to find a location for it. So one day I decided I'm going to get off my lazy rear end, and I'm going to find a location. I went out knocking on doors, and I went to several corporate locations, similar to Starbucks or McDonald's or Taco Bell. And they all said the same thing. Well, this is a corporate-run business. We can't allow that. And some would be nice, and some people would be nice, and they would say, well, here's an address or a phone number. I mean, like an email address or a phone number, and you can contact them and see what they say. And I would call the number that they'd give me, and the number would have a voicemail, and I'd leave a voicemail message, and you know what? They never called back. So over time, I learned if you don't get a yes, well, that means no. And if you don't get a yes, even if they say maybe, that's still a no. Until you get a yes, and until they say yes, you can put your vending machine right here and right in this store right now, well, that means no. Now, when you go out looking for locations, you want to target businesses that are owned by people just like you and me, people that are not corporately owned, mom and pop kind of businesses. And the person that's there, you want them to be able to say yes or no. You don't want them to say, well, let me talk to this boss and the one above him and the one above her and so on and so forth. And I will tell you the statistics. You will talk to about 10 people, and 1 will say yes and 9 will say no. And it may be discouraging, but I've found a way to kind of overcome that discouragement. I'll put 10 pennies in my pocket, or 10 quarters, or 10 nickels, or whatever. And if you go to one location and they say no, well, then you take it from one pocket and you move it into the other pocket. And if you hear another person say no, you take another penny. And hopefully, before you put all 10 pennies from one pocket into the other, 1 will say yes. And I guarantee you, 1 will say yes out of 9. I remember one day I went out and I knocked on doors for 3 days. Not one single person said yes. But the next day, on the 4th day, I got 7 machines. I found locations for 7 machines in half an hour. That was phenomenal. Before you start out, you want to align yourself with a charity. Now, you don't have to, but I recommend working with a charity because people will be sympathetic to that charity. Whether it's a charity that helps rescue dogs, or people that help with children with cancer, or people that help with the blind people, you want to work with the charity, and I recommend it. You don't have to, but I recommend it. And when you go out and you talk to people about putting in a vending machine, people will think that you're talking about a big, gigantic Coke machine or a big snack machine, and right away they'll say, no, thank you. And when I first started out, that's what I would do. I'd walk into the business and I'd say, hey, I'm Neil, and I work with this charity, the National Children's Cancer Society, and we place vending machine. No, thank you. Okay, so I went to the next place and I said, hey, I'm Neil, and I work with this charity, the National Children's Cancer Society, and we put vending machine. Well, oh, no, we don't want no vending machine in here. And so I thought the problem is that they're misunderstanding what I'm talking about. Already in their head, they're thinking about a big snack machine or a big Coke machine. And immediately they're saying no. Now, they've said no, so if you tell them, no, it's not a snack machine or a Coke machine, it's going to be a little gumball machine. Already they've said no, so they're probably going to continue to say no. So what I did was, when I first started, I took a little photograph of my vending machine. And it was about this size. Well, this is a hamburger, but it was about this size, and I'd walk in and I'd show them the picture of the vending machine. And so immediately in their head, they've already got an idea in their head of what it is, and so you get a little better response. After that, I made these cards, these little business cards, my phone number, my name, and it's got a photograph of the machine on it. And I used to leave these for people. Now, these cost me about 50 cents a piece, and I'd leave hundreds of these. And guess what? Nobody called me back. Actually, only one person called me back. I made about 400 of these. I turned in about 400 of these, or I gave away 400 of these. And one person called me. Just one. So what I did was, and something that's inexpensive like this, they'll want it. And they'll say, well, let me hand it to my boss. So if you want to hand something to the boss, if you want to hand something to their boss, or to the employee that takes it, make something inexpensive. So anyway, you can take the same card, and what you can do is you can laminate it like this. This is laminated. Let me show you. Okay? And they will know, when you hand this to them, they will know that you're not letting them keep this. This is your copy. So they won't ask you for that. And if they ask you for something, just give them a little business card. What I used to do is I used to carry this around with me. I used to carry this around with me in a folder like this, or a binder like this. And after walking around for an hour or so, my hands would get all sweaty. And it was kind of heavy, so I would create something like this. And this is a little smaller, and it fits comfortably in there, and it's easy to carry around. And as I said, if you talk to about 10 locations, 1 will say yes, and 9 will say no. So anyway, I hope that helps you with your vending machine business. And if you like this video, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and give us some comments. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good night. Or have a good afternoon.
Please hang up and try again.